Ciao ragazzi, if you have stuck around for and with us, welcome to Inter Worldwide. I'm still here with Armando. We've just finished doing a great video with our friends Riccardo and Francesco previewing Italy versus Turkey in the first match for the Euro. So if you haven't checked it out yet, it'll be our next video just below this one that you see right here. So we're doing this one live, not really to engage too many people. I'm just really lazy with the whole downloading and editing process, so I'd rather it just go straight to YouTube. Armando, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us to talk financial fair play and to maybe clear some things up that we didn't know before.
How are you, Bello? Nice to be back. I felt like I never left you.
Funny man, funny man. First of all, bro, financial fair play, a very sensitive topic. So I want you to tell me a little bit, first of all, what made you invested into finding out the ins and outs and the intricate parts of it? Because it can be very misleading, bro. Very misleading, no matter how much you look into it.
Look, I've been talking about this for a while, but very hard for me to explain in writing on chat, social media. And I noticed that every time there's a news about a big transfer or about a big salary paid or about anything else, people goes, see, fair play finanziario only works for us, all against us, no one touch PSG, no one touch this guy. And I try to explain the way it works. Now, the fair play, financial fair play, it was introduced in 2011, and then it's been reworked in 2018. Let's go back to 2011. The problem that every league was facing, ciao bello, Marvel, nice to see you. And Naha, Biggie, nice to see you too, Bello. So what happened in 2011 was this, that club were going to the 30th of June, which is the end of financial year for clubs, where they have to balance their book. The law was you have to balance the book by the 3rd of June. A lots of clubs had a lots of debts. So what they used to do, used to get to the 28th of June, the president used to take money from his business, from his company, from his pocket, put into the club as a loan. So by the 3rd of June, the club financial was covered. And then after the 3rd of June, the president was taking those money back. So it was a fake book balancing, but it was legal. So with the football financial fair play, whatever you want to, I keep getting stuck between Italian and English. With that new introduction of the law was that, your president wants to put money, he can, but they're going to be lost money. So he's going to take it from his own pocket. If he's got money on the side, he can put into the club, but he will never be able to take it back. And, because otherwise he's cheating. Then, as you know, you can only make a law once there is a crime. And like everything else in life, they put a law that deals with money, with transfer, with so many companies, so many people involved. There will be always the one that find the way around the law. So in 2018, what they did, they reinforced it and they split it sorry, they did not split. In 2015 was introduced in Serie A. Serie A has its own financial fair play, which we're going to go through in a second. But UEFA changed a few law in 2018. So the way it works is this. Any club get analyzed for the 3 years slot. 3 years, not like from now and 2 years back. There is slot. So let's say the slot goes from 2002 to 2005. Until the end of 2005, those 3 years of financial for those clubs, they're not going to be analyzed. But as long that at the end of those 3 years, they are in between the parametry of the law. The fair play is not enforced by UEFA because it would be illegal for a company controlling also the financial of the registered club. So there's a third body that does the kind of work, and it's split in two areas: the investigation area and then the area where they come up with the sanction, and then they pass the info to UEFA to apply the sanction. But the sanction are legally attached to money. Okay. Now the fair play financial says, first of all, every club can go to a gap of 5 million per year. So over 3 years, we're talking about 50 million. Anything above, they need to come down the gap. But if the money are put in by the president, they can go all the way up to 30 million. All right. It's very restricted. 30 million, it's not a debt for us, a club that plays in Europe competition. For a club that play for Champions League or anything, it's one soccer player, maybe, or even half soccer player. So they did this. Now they've been punishment to the club that did not manage to go back into those brackets. Now, unfortunately, PSG, every time they go over, their president, he drinks money, you know, he's got money in the toilet, he's got money everywhere. It's are they gonna stop this? Are they gonna stop the somebody asked about we have to answer that question because we left them last week with a question mark. So we're gonna go back to you, Juicy.
How about we get the financial fair play stuff out of the way and we come back to this question at the end?
We do and at the end we don't do another one. It's gonna be just a small one. So the UEFA did implement this stuff. Now, what happened now? Those rich clubs like PSG and Man City, they find another way around, which is I'm also the owner of so many company. I get this company to sponsor my club, and I put so much money. Once again, you cannot stop an investor to put his own money, no debts, no loan, to put his own money into a business. Otherwise, will be illegal in Europe because it's unfair competition. Because Anthony, you have a YouTube channel and you try to survive, you got your own money, all right? There's another guy, there's a YouTube channel, but he's a rich kid, so he buys all the equipment, he buys all the computer, he buys the followers, he buys whatever he wants. It's that illegal? No, because it's on money. What the government needs to do it, and that's what they're doing to us, to normal people as well. When you apply for a loan, what you gonna do? You're gonna come up in those brackets. They ask you how much you spend for lights, gas, water, expensive car, credit card. If you are in those percentage bracket, then you can have your loan. Yeah, you can do your business. Otherwise, not. As is the sign with fair play finance. So, unfortunately, PSG can buy $1 million a year to a goalkeeper to sit on his bench because it's his own money and he can do whatever he wants. If Napoli, Milan, or Inter does, then we cannot do it because we will go into debts. Because how they calculating the debts, it's how much you declare at the end of the year. You can go all the way up to 5%, I think was it. And I'm going to go into that soon. So if a Juventus, let's say, makes $400 million a year, then they can have a debts up to the percentage today. They total declaring income. Let's call it simple word. All right. So that's why we still getting confused. Because PSG, no one is gonna say nothing. No, PSG's got money. Now, unless another law will be introduced, but that's hard. You know why salary cap is not being introduced yet in Europe?
Why?
Because going back, and that's also will link us to the last question about UEFA, because everything now is being checked by the UA, United Europe, as sorry, just a second, apparently go down. Ali always wants to be on the show. She loves you. What happened is this, is that I lost the plot now. I lost the line. So what I was saying, Ali distracted me.
That's right.
What we were saying, Bello, we're talking about the financial.
It's how we're going to move into what we were talking about before with the other questions.
So in Italy, the financial in Italy is different. It was introduced in 2015, and it's way easier. They did it to avoid to repeat this, the Parma, the Lazio, the Napoli bankrupts. Okay, so what they did, they put a little bit easier bracket, so you can have up to 25% in deficit of your declared income. So a team that they made 100 million euro this year can have up to 25 million euro debts. But once again, it has to be analyzed in 3 years bracket, for time frame, sorry, in 3 years time frames. And as long as there is somebody they're happy to put their money, there is nothing you can do. I was talking about the salary cap. You know why there's no salary cap in Europe? Because so far, football players look like normal employees. That's why we had the Bosma sentence in 2011, I think it was, or 90 something. That screwed the whole world, because at this stage, wherever federation and club will do, there will be the European and national, whatever it's called, the judge. They will say, no, you cannot do that because it's unfair. It's unfair competition if you put a salary cap. Everybody are entitled to earn as much the employer wants to give to them. There is a control for a minimum wages, but there cannot be a cap for maximum wages. What UEFA is trying to do now, and then we go into the next things, that football and football player cannot be put at the same level of normal company with normal employee, because Juventus is not a restaurant, Ronaldo is not the chef of the restaurant. They cannot be put on the same place. So the law are changes, things are happening, all right, but it will take time because you're talking about United Europe. So it is a lots of factor involved. Yeah. And that's the fair play finanziario. Now, to answer the question to Juicy, listen, I got the statement of UEFA here in front of me. I said that UEFA this week was going to give sentence, and they were going to give sentence. That's why Real Madrid rushed and sent the paperwork that he got from the Tribunal of Barcelona, Madrid, to the court in Switzerland. And the court in Switzerland said, listen, there is a court case here that we need to analyze. If you do go ahead with suspension now, before we analyze this, and we find something in conflict, then the suspension will be no valid, you'll be fine. So UEFA said, yeah, not a problem. Now there is a legal involvement, because it's officially now the legal involvement. Up to the day that Real Madrid presented the paperwork to the Switzerland court, there was no officially legal war yet. Now that it's become legal, UEFA said, all right, now we're not going to come up with your punish now. We're going to sit down, get all the paperwork that we're going to receive from the Switzerland court, go through the paperwork, and our lawyer will format the fines and the punishment in line into the bracket, so we don't break any law. In other words, they said we don't wanna for those clubs not to go ahead. They can go ahead. In order to play with us, we require that you only play with us. Yeah. And it's a legal rule. It will take, guys. This will go, like we said last week. This week we're supposed to start with the sentence, but I remember what we said. The sentence is not gonna last forever, because my opinion is still those clubs gonna be playing, but those three presidents will have to resign. And I think what they're doing right now, they're buying times. They try to get political connection. It's the octopus moving, but I can't see any other outcome.
Yeah, fair enough. So let's move into that question right now. What do these sanctions basically mean for the likes of Juventus, Barca, and Real? Because we've seen what happened with the news today, and with the suspension and everything like that. So I'll just go straight back to you. What do you think this postponement means?
But the suspension also was decided by the UEFA. The UEFA decided, all right, we're not going to come up now. We're going to investigate now with the legal outside the UEFA brackets, and we're going to come back. And if you heard Ceferin talking the same day, he goes, we're going to go ahead. There's going to be sanction and suspension. There's going to be punishment. Like I said, right now, I was talking to Anthony Seminar over the phone. It's a game. I tell you that if you come to my place, I'm going to shoot you. And you tell me now, if I come, I'm going to do that to you. And it's a game to see who's going to back up, who's going to attack more.
Yeah.
There's too much money involved.
There's too much money involved. Exactly. And it could just go on longer and longer. You never know. It's a good thing the Euros have come around.
There is Euro coming around, and UEFA doesn't want to put the spotlight on these things. It wants the Euro to run smoothly. Because don't forget, the Champions League draw will be 30 of August, I think.
Yeah.
So plenty of time for legal war and for having fun. It will be a roller coaster, like we said. And at the end, I think the outcome will come. They will come to an agreement, but those three heads will roll. Or they have to apologize, but it doesn't look like they want to apologize and do anything. Don't get me wrong.
Fair enough.
UEFA, the Super League will not go ahead, but UEFA needs to do something. Like, even the Serie A league needs to do something. We cannot have 22, 23, 24, 20 teams, too many. We need to go back to 16 teams, and we need to go back to 2 or 3 relegation. You will have a much quality league. You will have more money split amongst more clubs, and you will have more quality player around. You know what I mean? It will be, because honestly, Anthony, we can have a show at the start of September when me and you can predict the 4 relegate team for next season. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get 2 or 3 right. We all know which team they're gonna be relegated. So with all due respect, what we're gonna do.
Last question of the night before we wrap this up. Any news on Calvarese, Armando?
Not Biggie, like the singer. I just read it now, the proper name. Sorry, brother, I called you wrong. What's about Calvarese, about the referee, the VR? That's what he's referring? I'm confused now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there is another investigation going through. So listen, we all know there is something shifty, there is something dirty. And the problem, I was reading actually an article today. The problem is it's not what happening. The problem is the people at the top that's supposed to control this that don't do nothing. Doesn't matter how many journalists are going to come up with the clues, with proof, with the investigation, unless this stuff goes to the end of people in charge that they care. But that doesn't look like they care. It looks like they are the one controlling. You know, I have a bad feeling about Lega Serie A. I think Lega Serie A need a club to look like the Cheetah Club, so they can do the shifting behind. It's like they're focusing all our heat against Juventus, but maybe Juventus got nothing to do. Just because it's the team that wins. Lega tends to make it look like they are the one cheating. Maybe there's money laundering behind. Maybe there's betting. You know, all these things coming out those days. Nothing surprised me, and it will happen again in 10 years' time, because it's happening 10 years ago. It's happened in the 80s. It's happened in the 70s. You know why? Because there is money involved, and money. Everybody's got a price, Bello. We all got a price. You know, we might have 100%. The more loyalty soul ever. Somebody might come with the right offer. We'll be happy to do something. You know.
Well, let's just hope the heads roll, like you said, man. And as I said, Euro is going to come around, which means there's plenty of time for more headlines to come out just afterwards. I don't think we've heard the last of this, and we definitely haven't heard the last of Armando. So thank you once again for coming on Into Worldwide, my friend. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, guys. And we go overboard again, 70 minutes instead of 15. I need to start learning to talk less.
Not at all, bro. From all of us at Inter Worldwide, stay tuned, please. Plenty of content coming. We'll be covering the Italian match against Turkey just afterwards as well, and plenty of other previews and reviews for Euros. So if you're still here, there's still 10 people, which is awesome. Like and subscribe. If you are new, ciao Armando, and thank you to everybody here. Forza Italia.